In the frost-ridden remains of his ancestral halls, shadows danced upon the cold stone as if mocking the once proud lineage of House Thoren. Ser Edrik, the last scion, stood resolute amidst whispers of the old gods. His father's murder, a specter hovering over every flickering candle, pushed him toward paths shrouded in both glory and doom. The north, unforgiving and vast, seemed to breathe his name, a call to reclaim what was stolen. Yet beneath his noble armor, ambition and a fervent thirst for vengeance kindled a fire that threatened to consume more than just the snow-laden woods. The old watchtower stood in ruins, skeletal remains wrapped in snow and whispers of forgotten legends. Ser Edrik approached the ancient stone, his breath mingling with the icy air in ghostly puffs. Old sigils etched into the rock spoke of ages long past, a forgotten script promising aid to those of pure spirit. Yet, in Westeros, purity itself was but a myth, and such promises came often fraught with peril. He knelt, tracing his fingers across the cold, worn surface. A sudden, fierce wind howled through the bones of the forest, bringing with it the mournful song of the old gods, a dirge that twisted everything Edrik held dear into sharp relief. Visions swirled within his mind, the swift, fierce strikes of betrayal, the crimson snow tainting his father's legacy, and the spectral face of vengeance that mirrored his own. A sound split the air, sharp and plaintive, a raven's call. It circled above, its black feathers a stark promise against the dull gray sky. Clutched in its talons gleamed a gold-laced scroll. Here, then, was fate's cruel hand, a message that would propel him forward, deeper into the mire of destiny where hope flickered just as fleeting as a candle against a storm. Edrik rose from the ancient stone, determination a bitter balm against the whispers of the old gods. The raven's call lingered in the frosty air, a knell for paths unchosen. Reverence tempered with dread filled his gaze as he snatched the scroll, feeling the heft of unseen shackles tighten around his soul. The message within spoke of alliances forged in secrecy, promises of strength scribed by hands both familiar and foreign. Yet the gold threading bespoke not just power but the price it exacted, debt to the heavy silence of the north, to blood yet unshed. Edric's heart quickened, as did the shadow of his father's unyielding gaze, judging every step. The sound of distant hoofbeats shattered the moment, heralding the arrival of figures cloaked in the forest's twilight. Riders approached, their eyes reflecting the grim resolve of men hardened by life's cruel lessons. With them came a chill deeper than any winter, the foreboding sense of the world closing in. In their midst, a rider dismounted, removing his helm to reveal a rugged face etched with the wary lines of one who knew the darkness well. "Kinslayer," he said, voice steady and ancient, an echo of old edicts. Edrik met the man's gaze, an understanding passing between them, a terrible promise sealed beneath the pallid northern sky. In the hushed cradles of the woods, Edrik stood firm, steel tip marked with despair's etching. The rider's presence bespoke loyalty balanced on the razor's edge of betrayal. Destiny's weave pulled taut as if to snap under the weight of blood-soaked histories. "Kinslayer," the old voice repeated, carrying the echoes of ancestors stirred from their slumber. Silence blanketed them, a smothering shroud, as Edrik unsheathed his resolve, no weapon sharper. Against the gathering shadows, oaths were whispered, forged in the crucible of necessity, mistrust faltering at the specter of a shared enemy. The message bore wounds, both fresh and old, whispering of allies unseen, chaining him to a fate wound tighter than the chains he wielded in dreams. Faces around him darkened by choice, shadows of roads less traveled that spoke of doom. Yet within, a kernel of defiance burned, Edric's heart kindled by past fires, forefathers' acclaim, deeds echoing in his breath. He would walk the rim of night, one step from the abyss, ever watched by eyes like flames in the dark. And in the biting winds of truth, as honor unraveled, he sought the resolve to forge fate anew, against all that sought to bind him. Darkness enveloped the clearing as the riders melded into the trees, leaving Edrik alone with the silence of his oath. The raven's scroll lay heavy in his hand, its promises tantalizing yet treacherous. He knew well the road of whispered secrets, marked by the bones of the foolish and brave alike. "Kinslayer," the echo returned, laced with memories of his father's blood spilling onto the snow. The weight of his name pressed down, yet Edrik felt the pulse of destiny urge him onward, one step toward redemption, another toward despair. Nearby, the woodland watched with eyes from beyond, unseen yet ever present. Edrik sensed their judgment, spectral fingers of fate weaving his path into their forbidding tapestry. A shiver traced his spine, the touch of destiny's cold breath. "This is my path," he whispered to the night, a frail defiance against the storm of history. His resolve steeled, each heartbeat an echo of battles past. In the north's bleak oblivion, where betrayal thrived, he would forge anew, one sword stroke at a time. As the winds howled their silent challenge, Edrik mounted his steed, riding into the gathering night, where shadows promised justice and the truth lay hidden beneath layers of ice. Edrik, forged anew by solemn vows, spurred his steed toward the looming storm. Shadows cloaked his descent, whispers entwined with fate's cruel promise. Each hoofbeat echoed defiance against destiny's grasp, charting a perilous path where loyalty wavered and redemption glimmered, ever cruel and tantalizing under the north.